I'm going to combine a couple of questions. I think this has to do with the neighborhood. City Manager Fillon has proposed eliminating neighborhood, I think the neighborhood committee. Do you support or oppose eliminating the neighborhood commission? And also, how do you feel about consolidating landmarks and planning commission?
There is a proposal that has been floating around that the city clerk has done a great deal of study on to consolidate commissions and eliminate some commissions. The overwhelming public response is, tell us how much money this is really going to save. And as of this moment, after 6 months of study by the city clerk, he doesn't have a number for us. So all of this idea of destroying your voice to get to the city has no price tag. And we don't know when it ever will have a price tag. I do not support the elimination of the neighborhood commission. I do not support consolidation of commissions on a happenstance matter. There are some reforms that have to come to commissions, and the city clerk has proposed some very excellent suggestions, and I think that will help the commission process, but the elimination of commissions are vital to our democracy.
Thank you. Next, please.
I do not support the elimination of the commission.
How many of you here have been a commissioner before? And then the rest of you, how many of you that have not been a commissioner have actually attended a commission meeting? Okay, and Helen, you're both. So long story short, the city has commissions. We have about 31 commissions. In the city charter, we have 4 that are required. So at one point and another, we grew the commission structure. And when you grow the commission's the structure, it takes resources. You have to have the city clerk staff it. You have to have the city attorney. You have to have department staff, etc. So because we've cut so much, we've looked at, can we consolidate some of these committees so that will serve the same purpose, but just not have as many? Or if you meet monthly, maybe you should meet quarterly. So I do support some form of consolidation, not eliminating it altogether, but to keep it the same way, there is a cost, and we need to recognize that.
A slightly different question, changing it around to how do you define essential services? And how do you get enough council support? There's another question that said, how do you get 6 votes to join with you and not just have a lot of talk and hot air here? How do you get enough council support to spend taxes on essential city services? Thank you.
I think I'm next on this one. So it's really easy. It's what's in the city charter. We have different distinctions of government. There's things your county provides you, there's things the state provides you, there's the things the federal government, and the city is in the city charter. My goal is to provide you a police force so that when you pick up 911, whether you're in Berryessa, Almaden, Cambrian, wherever, that someone will come. At the end of the day, you need to have some way to manage just you need a sewer system, let's put it that way. That is integral to being a civilized society, not having outbreaks of cholera. Roads, whether you're biking or driving, you need a transportation system. Those are the basics, ladies and gentlemen. I know there are things that we've been used to having during surplus times, but during austere times, we have to really look at what's the core of the city. I voted against $2.26 million on golf nets. When we were considering selling a golf course, I was the only one to vote no, saying, why would I spend $2.26 million on golf nets if I'm going to consider selling this? There's things like this that happen all the time, and I'm very proud of my voting record.
Thank you.
We need to look carefully at where we're spending our money. Essential services comes from the definition of what government is. Government does what we as individuals can't do alone, and where we need to come together, to work together through the government to provide security, to provide safe roads and sewers and all of those other essential services. It doesn't really matter whether it's in the charter or whether it's an ordinance. If we have a service and something that is needed, Libraries are essential. Why? Because they help students and unemployed people get to computers that help them get jobs, which helps the benefit of the economy. There's a lot of things that are not strictly essential that we need to do. Community centers are vital because they keep kids off the street and lower the chances of crime and miscreants. So what we have to do again
Thank
is
you.
take this from the people.
John?
Our definition of what essential services is has been pretty flexible lately. It's like things are less and less essential with the less and less money we have. And that's basically what's defining what essential is. Can we afford it or not? And I think we as a people have to stand up and decide whether we want the services or not. And it's a matter of paying for it. And if we want the services, then we have to be willing to pay for them. And that's a hard thing to do politically, but that's what we need to take on. We need to find the things that we need to support and get behind them and change our minds about not paying as much money.